Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today for today's CMA Showcase video. I am really excited today because I'm joined by none other than Wendie Colter. Wendie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Jayney. Just delighted to be here.
Yeah, well, honestly, I'm so glad you have, and it's very early there. You're joining me from, is it California?
I'm joining you from California, yes. Early, early in the morning.
Very early in the morning. I know, absolutely. Hats off to you. You're a trooper. Wendie, I think the best way of getting cracking with this actually is to give you as much time as possible. So, would you be able to just introduce yourself to our listeners and our viewers to tell them a little bit about your work and the way that you help people?
Absolutely. I am a medical intuitive. I've been in the field for around 20 years doing this work, and I train wellness professionals in the skill of medical intuition. I offer a certification, I offer accreditation, and delighted to be part of the CMA. And I've been doing that for over 15 years, and delighted to say that our graduates show, and we've tested them. We have research done on our work here in the States that's available all over the world. Our graduates are receiving 94 to 98% accuracy rates based on their work. And that's quite an accomplishment in the field of medical intuition.
It really is, Wendy. I think, first of all, for people who aren't familiar with the term medical intuition, what actually is it?
Well, the skill of medical intuition includes scanning the physical body using intuitive methods for imbalances, issues, anomalies, things like that. And what we're doing is we're looking not only at the physiology of the body and the anatomy of the body, which is classic medical intuition, we're also looking at the biofield, the chakra system, the auric field. We're looking at life history. We're looking at a number of things that could um, contribute to physical, emotional, mental, spiritual imbalances in someone's experience.
Yes, that is fascinating. So how does the process actually take place? So, for example, do you need somebody to come and see you or one of the many people that you've trained? Do they have to be with you physically, or can this be done sort of via distance? And if so, what exactly would the person's experience be? First of all, if they come to see a medical intuitive.
Mhm. One of the wonderful things about this work is that it can be done remotely, and very often it is. I have clients from all over the world. I have students from all over the world, and we work in the online environment, just like this. I see most of my clients on Zoom, and I have my eyes closed, so I don't actually see my clients, which is actually a big part of the efficacy of this work. I don't need to see someone, my graduates don't, my students don't. It's a remote skill. And that makes it wonderfully adaptive, right? To use in any situation, including healthcare. I've worked with doctors for decades. Many of my colleagues have as well. Many of my graduates do. Many of them are in the medical field themselves. And so we find that this skill is incredibly flexible in terms of how you can choose to use it
Mm.
as a practitioner.
Okay, so my understanding then is that you have a way of teaching people to
Mhm.
scan, obviously, but the anatomy, as you say, the physiology, even right through to auras and history. So how does that scanning take place? Is it a case of sitting and tuning into the person, or how does it actually, what are the mechanics of it, so to speak?
That's a great question. Uh, every medical intuitive out there will have their own skill set of how they use their intuition. And there's so many kinds of intuition, right? There's the feeling intuition, the hearing intuition, the sensing intuition, the seeing intuition. My skill set and the one I teach is the seeing intuition, visual meta sense, you could call it. And the reason that I teach that is because that was very natural to me as I was developing my skill set. The clear name for it is clairvoyance, which is a tricky word when you do what I do, which is I speak to conferences full of doctors, and you say clairvoyance, and they head for the exits. But the fact is that it's a very natural skill set once you practice it.
Mm.
There's other kinds of clair, so to speak, clairsentience, clair feeling. That's very natural to people. This one is useful in medical intuition because it gives you an enhanced ability to literally see, well, intuitively, literally see into the workings of the body, right? And that was coming up for me as I was practicing and learning and growing my skill set. I wanted to see what was going on in your heart. I wanted to see what was going on in your liver. I wanted not just to know it, but to actually visually get a look at it. Now, how does that help the client? It helps the client to be able to take that information to their doctor and say, what's going on in this part of my anatomy? What could be going on here in this part of my knee or my hip or my heart or my liver?
Mm.
And it gives the doctors, we've found over the years, so much more information, so much more to go on and to work with. I'll share this with you. We just completed a study, and I'm really big on science because it validates what we already know is true. And when it does that, it's exciting. And we just recently did a study with uh, doctors, patients, and medical intuitives. And the study is still in peer review, so I can't really talk too much about it. But what we did find was what I've found over the years in my own practice. Doctors are fascinated by this. They want it. They want to know more because it gives them a window into their patients that they wouldn't necessarily have. Testing is really important, obviously, in medicine, but what about all the features and factors that make up an imbalance,
Mm.
right? So much, and not only physical, right? So you can see it's a big conversation, and it just gets really exciting when you start to see all the factors that can contribute to an imbalance in someone's physical life, in someone's emotional life, and
Yeah.
someone's mental and spiritual experiences as well.
Yes. Wendy, it is fascinating. I find an absolutely fascinating topic. I mean, I've experienced medical intuition myself, and have to say, my experience was absolutely positive. And so, I was very shocked, and it wasn't just somebody sort of looking at me, but also looking at other people that I had sort of made, lists of, and so on for them to actually look at. And the accuracy was shocking, I have to say. So, how does this work? And I guess my follow-up question, I'll ask you two questions at the same time because they sort of are connected. So, first of all, sort of, how do you think it works? And then, secondly, do you find that there are people who are more naturally gifted? So, for example, you could sit anybody down at a piano and, teach them to play a scale, but, there's only one Mozart. So there are going to be people, I'm sure, who are wildly, wildly gifted. Or does it not work that way at all? So yes, sorry for the two-part question, but with
I'll
that,
start with
will. Yes.
I'll start with the second part.
Okay.
I have trained, and I train medical doctors, nurses, massage therapists, mental health care people, health coaches, fitness trainer, you name it. I'm happy to train. And I have people who come into the program and say, I don't have an intuitive bone in my body. What can you teach me? And the fact is that this is actually intuition is hardwired into us. It's not something apart from us. When children show a proclivity or a bent towards sports or math or art, we encourage them, don't we? We go, oh, that's wonderful, right? When children show a bent towards intuition, generally our society doesn't know what to do with it, and most of the time we're told not to talk about it.
Yes.
So the question here is not do people have it and can they, are some more gifted than others? The question here is do you want to develop it? If you wanted to learn to play the piano, obviously, you'd work with a teacher and you get to wherever you wanted to go. I'm very delighted to say that the students who come through my program, who graduate, are reading and doing their work at, I would say, a 3 to 5 year level. It's a very rigorous program, and I'm very proud of it because I want there to be more effective and well-trained medical intuitives in the world. That was my goal in starting my program, and that's why I went for certification. That's why I went for accreditation. Excuse me. and I wanted to legitimize the skill.
Hmm.
And sometimes that happens out there in the world in various fields with different kinds of training and proofs and things like that.
Yes.
So that was the second part of the question.
Yes, it was. And then the first part, I suppose, actually was how do you think this works? If that's not too huge and vast a question.
That's a pretty huge question.
Yeah,
Um, you know,
realize that. Yes.
people ask me that, and I think what you're asking is how does intuition work? Because
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
medical intuition is a form of it's a use of intuition. The skill of intuition, again, because it's so hardwired into humans, the question again is, do you want to develop that or would you prefer to have it kind of come on the fly? There's plenty of people who use their skills just as hits, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
I decided early on, well, I'll give you my example from my life.
Yes.
I started in energy healing, as many of the people who are involved in the CMA must, be part of, right? It's a big
Yes.
worldwide skill set. And there are thousands of methods of energy healing. And I noticed as I was doing my energy work, and this is over 20 years ago, I'd get these wonderful hits. I'd get a hit on something's going on here and something's going on in your life. And I'd kind of impart that to my client as I was doing my healing work, which means clearing things out of the energy field, right? And I noticed that on occasion people would come back, and sometimes more often than not, and it wasn't my skill. I was using the same skill on everybody. It was that their energy wasn't able to let go of something. And they'd come back with the same thing again and again and again. Not uncommon, and certainly happens in medicine, right?
Yeah.
People might have challenges healing, right? So I decided I wanted to, because I'm very curious about these sorts of things, that I wanted to try to see if instead of doing a healing, I could just discern, just sit and use my intuition and string a bunch of hits together, so to speak,
Mm.
and see if I could find something that, just tell them what I was perceiving and would that be valuable to them? And it took, oh, I don't know, I think the first one was probably 2 hours. I couldn't stop. It was just so much information in their energy field, in their bodies. And at the end of it, I think my client sort of looked and blinked at me and went, wow. And then I did a healing on them and they let go of things that they had been holding on for decades. And that told me something. That told me that not only does the body store this information in the energy field, but there's a way to access it in such a way that can actually, quote unquote, move the needle for them, right? It can actually move things along faster for them just by hearing the information, not by, yeah, the healing part is great, but somehow bringing it to their conscious awareness made a huge difference. So at that point, I went, I didn't even know what to call it, right? And Carolyn Mace in her books, I'm like, oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm seeing in the body. Seeing in the life history. So how do you do it? Everybody's different. Again, I teach the visual version of it. And I think to answer your question on the more esoteric way, which I think is what you're asking, is another way to talk about this is to talk about the quantum field,
Mm.
which is a really lovely metaphysical and scientific word, which basically means how we're all connected, how energy works, how the universe, kind of connects things. And one of the most exciting things, honestly, Jayney, about medical intuition is that when I do a session with a client, I don't have a medical background myself, so there's no big body of knowledge that I tap into. And I actually train my students not to do that because you'll get more and more accurate information from tapping into that quantum field, so to speak, and allowing that, which
Mm.
is all that is, right? Bring to you the information that is useful to your client,
Mm.
along with the skills of looking internally at their information. So it's a lot of trusting.
Yes.
I call it trust the process, but I don't know if that helps.
No, it really, really does. No, it's a fascinating thing. And I'm absolutely certain that anybody watching this is going to be as fascinated as I am by it. What is the best way? Obviously, we're talking about two different things here. There may well be people out there who would love to work with you, and there will be also people, and they may be the same people as well, because there's probably going to be a crossover. People who actually want to study with you. So, what is
Mhm.
the best way for people to actually get hold of you, Wendie?
Oh, my website is thepracticalpath.com. And I chose that name because I'm a very practical minded person, and I always felt that spiritual wisdom and spiritual practice is wonderful, but if it doesn't have a practical aspect to it, that's what gets me excited, right? How do you use it in your life?
Yeah.
So, yes, thepracticalpath.com. I do offer sessions, and again, it's on Zoom, so anyone all over the world can join us. And the program is a 1 year program in two levels. These are all live online on Zoom, and you can learn all about it at thepracticalpath.com. And I encourage people to come and find out about it. Again, it's accredited, it's through CMA and others, and it's again a very rigorous program. But the graduates of this program are doing incredible things out there in healthcare and in their world and in their practices. We're very proud of it.
And
I will. I'm so
I'm going to
sorry.
say you should be very proud of it
I
because,
have another program.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, really? Well, tell us about that as well.
Yeah. So I do have a program for everyone. So the main program is for people who work in wellness care, and there's information on the website about that, how you can find out about qualifications. The workshop, which will be online very soon, is called Medical Intuition for Healing and Self-Care. And that will teach you how to query your own body, how to work with your own body for health and wellness. And that's exciting, you know. That's where you start to learn things about your own physiology, your own information that can really help move the needle for yourself in your own healthcare.
That is terrific. And do you ever work with animals as well?
Oh, goodness, yes. Working with animals is great fun. It's in many ways easier than working with humans, although easy isn't the word. It's animals are very open. I work with animals, I've worked with children, I've worked with people who are non-communicative for whatever reason. That's all available with this work.
Mm. Um, it is stunning. And, I was just going to say, actually, the information that you sent through about the course and, the website and so on and so forth, we were just blown away in the office. We were all sort of sitting around nudging each other saying, hey, have you seen this? It's absolutely fantastic. So we're so excited to have you with us, Wendie. It really is. It's extraordinary. My gut feeling is that obviously we're just nibbling at the surface here for the showcase video, but at least it helps our viewers and listeners to get to know you and to learn a little bit about the work that you do, the magnificent work that you do.
Thank you.
Anybody who didn't catch the URL, so the website address, it's in the show notes underneath. We'll be popping this into the CMA newsletter. So again, you've got a direct link to the video when it goes up on YouTube. So I strongly suggest everybody just goes and checks out Wendie's website to begin with and learns a lot more about her work. And Wendie, we're going to have you back. There's no ifs, buts, and maybes. I'm chomping at the bit. I've got so many more questions for you, and I know that our listeners and our viewers will as well. So with your blessing, we'll invite you back to do perhaps like a longer tutorial for everybody, and maybe even have people submit questions if you'd be open to that idea.
Oh, absolutely. And I'd just be honored and delighted. Thank you.
Oh, Wendie, it's amazing. This is my last interview of the day, and you've absolutely made my day. Thank you so very much, and thanks for getting up so early in the morning to be with
Like, trying to keep my eyes open here. It's not
us.
that early, but
I know what you mean. The problem is you have to get up extra early in order to get yourself screen ready to be. So yeah,
it's the way it goes.
it is absolutely. But listen, thank you. I will love you and leave you. Wishing you a beautiful day, and we shall talk with you again very, very soon, Wendie. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Take care.